Hello, welcome to Soothe Yourself. This is Francesca. Today I have the pleasure to have with me Sudeepti from our coaching community. And together we're talking about self-reflection and emotional awareness. Thank you so much for being here with us today, Sudeepti.
Thank you so much for having me, Francesca. I'm so glad to be here. So, emotional awareness and self-reflection is really at the heart of the self-transformation work I do. So, I'm really excited that we are going to explore this today.
Yes, I heard you before talking with me other times that self-transformation and awareness of our emotions are very connected and they're very important. So we do need to pay attention to our emotions. Can you tell us more about that?
In my personal experience, the main thing here is this: our feelings are messages guiding us towards our next level of self transformation. So, as we are feeling these emotions and really reflecting on them, we open doors to understanding ourselves so much better and making changes in our lives and understanding others so much better because we relate with them better with more empathy. So I just want to emphasize this again that when we like all of this can happen when we recognize our feelings are messages guiding us towards our next level of self-transformation.
Beautiful. And I forgot to mention to our audience today, you are calling us here from India. So sometimes the communication may be a little difficult, but I heard most of you, what you said, pretty well. And I think what I gathered, correct me if I'm wrong, is that the importance of and validating our emotions, making sure that we know we are aware of our emotions because they help us understand better ourselves and evolve, so transform, but also understand better others, right? And connect with others as well. So sometimes though emotions, it's something that we need to look at a little bit deeper. And it might be a little tricky sometimes because there might be good emotions, bad emotions, and we might be needing a little bit of guidance. In your experience, do you have a method or a framework or something that can help us as we look at our emotions? How should we do that?
So that's a really good question. So how can we look deeper, right? So looking deeper at our emotion, this is always about really slowing down and observing what feelings are coming up, observing where we are feeling these emotions in our body, and also really reflecting upon what these feelings are really trying to tell us. And
Okay.
and this is and this reflection, this is just the starting point. Okay, this is the
Okay.
starting point of inner work. So so as we do this more, we become brave enough to um, go deeper and deeper and go beyond reflection. So going beyond reflection is all about really gently staying with our emotions, exploring our emotional patterns, and making changes in our lives, right? And making conscious choices also. And this whole thing, this is inner work, okay? And
Sorry to interrupt. So the inner work, sometimes the word work can scare people, but there is this method, the framework you're about to share. So the first step to look within.
Yeah.
Inner work means you look inside and you look at your emotions. And so you start from the self-reflection. You explore your emotions in the self-reflection. That's the first step, correct?
Yeah, that's the first
Okay.
step, right? This ongoing inner work that becomes the self-transformation process.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, regarding the framework, right? So I do use a personal framework, and this framework helps me enhance my inner experience. Okay, and this is not limited to emotions. This can be applied to thoughts, behaviors, patterns, habits, just anything that is part of our inner world. Okay,
Wonderful, wonderful.
so yeah, yeah. So this framework has 4 levels.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, level 1 is explore. So you explore yourself. Level 2 is express. So you are expressing yourself. Level 3 is embrace, embracing ourselves. And level 4 is expand, expanding ourselves, right? Um, so when we go through these levels,
Mm-hmm.
right, um, what I've noticed within me and the people I work with is we go through these levels in a loop. Okay, as we explore different layers of ourselves, and um, following this specific sequence, level 1 to 4, that's not a necessity. Okay,
Okay.
because generally when people do this inner work, they may follow in different order. I just find that this framework is a really good reference point when you're feeling lost. This can help you get back on track quickly.
So this can help going back on track. That's what I heard. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
The 4 levels are really going from exploring up to expanding. And it makes me think about, in a way, traveling because you are exploring something
hmm
that you are not familiar with, that is new to you, but also that is connected to you because you're the one traveling. So you are exploring something. And then you come to the
hmm
point of expanding because when you travel, you're actually expanding your horizon. You are exploring new culture,
yeah,
new places, even if it's in your own country. If you go to a different city or a different state, you might find something different and
yeah,
connect with that and expand yourself, the way you think and you analyze things. So the way you absorb the differences and you make them closer to you. And I think that's a pattern. If we explore ourselves as a world, as a new world, right? We're made so beautifully and uniquely. Every individual is beautifully made and so complex. And it's important to explore ourselves and figure out what richness, what resources, what beautiful land we have within, what beautiful opportunities. And the emotions could be looked at that. And like you said, we could use this framework for thoughts. So maybe closer to the traveling analogy or hobby, you say behavioral patterns and emotions. So you can use it for different things. Can you tell me a little more about the self-reflection and the exploring is the first part. The second is express and self-express.
yeah,
Can you tell me a little more about that?
yeah. A little more about these levels.
The second level about self-expression, is it manifesting our emotions, or can you
Okay,
tell me a little more about this level?
okay, okay. So, right. Before that, I'll also just expand on the first level so that it makes sense, right?
Sure.
Uh, so, uh, so since level 1 is explore, our main focus here is self-reflection, okay? And this is because we are going inward and really being curious about what's going on in our world, right? So we are doing self-reflection to help us explore ourselves better, okay? Then second is level 2, right? And this is express. And our focus here is expression, self-expression. So we can do this self-expression in two ways. Okay. So in first way is we give voice to the things we uncovered um, in level 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Whatever we uncovered in reflection, right? And the second way is freestyle self-expression, like expressing whatever comes to your mind, right? A
Mm-hmm.
stream of consciousness.
Yes.
So, we can do this self-expression by talking, writing, or through any creative act that brings out whatever is alive within us.
Fantastic. So the second level can include creative ways to be expressive. It could be through art,
Yeah,
through writing.
yeah.
I like that concept. Sometimes writing does help to look at something differently because when you write it, your brain is visualizing as you're writing it, and it almost puts you a little bit distant from it, and it can allow you to look at it from a maybe different perspective. So what comes after that?
Yeah, level 3 is embrace. So um, here we are mainly focusing on self-love,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this is about accepting different parts of ourselves and really appreciating them. This is about meeting ourselves with compassion, forgiveness, and gratitude, even when it's hard. This is about giving ourselves that space to grow.
Yes.
Okay. And then there is level 4, that is expand. So uh, to expand what we as we expand, what we're actually doing is we are building our self-belief, right? And um, what we do in this level is expand our level of awareness, expand our perception, expand our emotional capacity, expand our ability to show up in this world and really respond to life differently. Yeah. So as we go from level 1 to level 4, right? Um, we are also experiencing a shift in our viewpoint. We are experiencing a shift in our
Yes.
perspective.
Yes.
Yes. And this shift in perspective is what, um, transforming your inner experience is all about. This is self-transformation.
That's fascinating because I don't know why it brings me back to the travel analogy. Maybe because we're distant geographically right now, but I'm thinking about the fact that when you are exploring a new place, and you expand your horizon, you see something new, it does change you. It's an experience, as you probably experienced too, traveling or going to a different country and moving there. Your whole way of looking at things and yourself does change, does transform. And therefore, you change
Yeah.
the way you look at things, your perspective are different. And and in doing so, there is growth, there is evolving of who you are into who you are becoming. And that's the beauty of the transformation. So looking at our emotions from self-reflection and expressing ourselves and our emotions and finding ways to love and appreciate who we are, embracing who we are, and then expanding that allow us to see things
Yeah.
differently and appreciate ourselves and others and the differences that we have accomplished from just the first level of self-reflection and exploration to what we can
Yeah.
actually become and transform. So probably the beauty of the fourth level, I think it's also gives you more sense of self-belief, correct? It's more like you are believing more. There's a little bit self-confidence as well involved in that. When you're, yeah, can you tell me a little more about this level 4? Because the idea of self-belief is very important, the confidence that we need to all have a little bit more of.
As I said, like when we're working on the level 4, we are expanding our perception, right? On different levels. So this also helps us build our self-belief. And just like, your travel example, right? When we are traveling, we are our perspective of the world change.
Yes.
Right. So similarly, when you're doing inner work, right? When you're building yourself up, right? Building your confidence, building your love, building your worth, right? Um, your perspective of yourself changes. Your perspective of yourself changes, and also your perspective of your world changes.
Yes.
Right. So yeah, so it helps you become more and more authentic the more you practice it. And all this journey begins at our foundation, that is level 1, explore, right? That's the foundation, and this is where we really um, begin seeing our feelings as messages and not a problem.
I like that concept very much because sometimes we don't like the way we feel. Our emotions are almost scary to us and we want to avoid them, put them in a little box container and don't go there. And we treat them like problems, but they can be messages, like you said. It can be our own self telling you are experiencing this because explore the causes of this. You know, why are you feeling this way?
Yeah.
So, what would you tell somebody who struggles with getting started, is trying to avoid the emotions instead of embracing them and exploring them? Is there some technique or something that would help us get started? Like a pre-level one?
So this is really a good question. I would say, feeling this difficulty, right? Feeling this discomfort when you're getting started is completely okay and natural, because you've never done this, right? And you're not familiar with this. So there will be resistance, obviously.
Yes.
And I would like to also add that, you see, yeah, inner work is not easy, right? But it's crucial, right? So even there are moments where I I feel these discomforts too, but I use them as a growth opportunity, right? To build myself up, right? Um, and this is a lifelong journey. So, so inner work is not about, doing everything at once, one day. Just it's not an overnight thing, right? It's about, building trust with yourself step by step, taking it one step at a time,
Absolutely.
right?
So there is growth.
So
Sorry. I'm
yeah,
sorry I interrupted you because our lines went
yeah,
overlapping. I like very much the concept of
that's
growth.
okay.
So you were telling us a little more about the self-reflection and how that first level begins. How do you explore that first level of self-reflection? Because it does help us
Yeah.
grow.
To begin this, there's a very simple technique that I designed, that I use with myself and also my clients, and I call this emotional reflection technique. This really is based on the first level, explore.
Emotional reflection technique. Okay, fantastic. So tell us more
Yeah,
about
yeah,
this
yeah.
technique.
first, I'd suggest this technique to be, used as a journaling exercise because it will help you grow your self-reflection skills so much more, right? So, okay, so the step one of this technique is highlight of the day. Okay, at the end of the day, you know these can be low moments, these can be high moments, right? Whatever stood out to you in that particular day. Okay, and let me give you an example. Um, for example, you might say, today I was misunderstood by my colleague. That could be a highlight.
Okay. Yes, it could happen.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Yeah. So this is step one, right? And then step two is feeling awareness. So here you are checking in with yourself, like what emotions are associated with that moment, right? Maybe when this person, right, when they misunderstood you, it made you feel judged. Maybe you felt disrespected.
I didn't hear you well. You said a little bit
Yeah,
disrespected.
disrespect, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, feeling disrespected. Yes. Um, and then maybe you can also check in with your body. Like, where are you feeling these emotions in your body? Maybe, the thought of this person misunderstanding you. Maybe when you think about them, maybe you're feeling some anxiety in your stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's some stress headache, right? So,
Yes.
step two is, yeah, so step two is feeling awareness. Okay. Now, moving on to step three, that is identifying the cause. Okay. So, you can use what made me feel this way statements. Okay. Using this example, what made me feel um, judged, right? Maybe you might write, because this person is not understanding me for who I am. They are jumping to conclusions too quickly, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They are really not seeing me for or understanding me, right? I don't feel seen or understood. Um, what made me feel disrespected? Right? Maybe you might write, um, because this person makes me feel like they highlight my weaknesses. They highlight my bad qualities so much. They make me feel like I don't have any good qualities at all. I feel disrespected. Okay, so that might be the cause.
So the cause could be that
Okay.
we think that we are disrespected because in a way they have highlighted only the negative about us, correct? And
Yeah,
so
in this
yeah,
in this example,
in this example. Sure,
just
sure.
in this example, right? So yeah, so the answer can be different for different people, right? Like
Yeah.
based on how they related with that moment, right? Moment of being misunderstood. Then the fourth step is validation.
Okay.
Okay, so here you're showing some kindness to yourself, some reassuring words. Um, um, Maybe you can say things like, my emotions are valid, right? My experiences make sense. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, I feel hurt. This person disrespected me, right? Of course, um, uh, I'm allowed to feel this way, right? I deserve to be treated with compassion. I deserve to be treated non-judgmentally, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So some kind words to yourself. Yeah. And then the last step, step five. So step five is changing viewpoint.
Mm.
So here you can ask yourself, what is this feeling teaching me?
Okay.
Okay. So, what is this feeling? I mean, using this example, one can ask, what is this feeling, judgment feeling, right? Feeling judged teaching me? What is this feeling disrespect teaching me? And in this level, in this step, right, you may need to think deeper, right? Because you may take, and maybe the answer here in this case could be somewhere my boundaries are being violated. So I need to honor my boundaries more. I need to show up more for myself. I need to stand my ground. I need to speak my truth, right? So that's what this feeling is teaching me. So the to summarize, the 5 steps are highlight of the day, right? What stood out. Second step is feeling awareness, emotions, and feeling in the body. Third step is identifying the cause. What made you feel this way? Fourth is validation, showing some kind changing perspective. What is this feeling teaching me?
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that technique.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful technique. I will
yeah.
say is sometimes your voice got a little stuck, but I understood what you meant. So some of the words that were not too clear
Okay.
was the inner
Mm-hmm.
work and deeper work, right? So when you are getting to the 5 steps are highlight of the day. So you find something in the day, whether it's negative or positive,
Mm-hmm.
that is stuck in your brain that you want to look at. And then you step 2 is feeling awareness. So you want to be aware of how does that one thing makes you feel. And then the third is identifying the cause. Why is that feeling originated by that thing? Why that is what is the cause of how I feel because of this situation, the one highlight. And then number 4
Mm-hmm.
is validation. Okay, so I feel blank. You know, in this case of the example was feeling disrespected or judged by a colleague who didn't understand us or what we were trying to convey. So we validate that. And then we change the
Yeah.
perspective, the
Mm-hmm.
viewpoint, which is the last step, um, in realizing that there's still self-worth in that. And we're still, obviously want to be respected and to be respectful of others. But it
Mm-hmm.
acknowledges it kind of, it's a 5 steps technique that helps us get in touch with those emotions, because emotions are not just there as feelings, but also as messengers. They can tell us more about ourselves. So
Yeah.
in the step 5,
Yeah.
we can also find better understanding of ourselves. And if I may share something,
Yeah.
it's interesting that you mentioned the colleague episode scenario, because
Mm-hmm.
something similar happened to me when I was working in a bookstore, and sometimes between coworkers we were not extremely clear to one another, like who would close the shift, would close the store or things like that. And I remember one time one of the managers gave me a book called Taming the Lion Within. So basically, giving me the message that I was a lion who was angry
Mm-hmm.
and that I had to manage my anger. And so at first, I looked at her
Mm-hmm.
like, what are you giving me, woman? you know, and then I said, yeah, very funny, very funny. But then I looked at the book, I looked at it in my hands, I looked through it, and I realized, okay, so basically, I took it home and I said, let me just take it home and go through it. Maybe you're right. Okay. I don't think you are, but maybe you're right. And I told her angrily, so I was already giving her the right. But in any case, I brought the book home. I looked at it and I possibly did the 5 steps without realizing it, because I thought, today this
Mm-hmm.
happened. I'm aware of the fact that it hurt me. But why?
Mm-hmm.
Why did it hurt me?
Mm-hmm.
I am angry.
Mm-hmm.
Validation of my anger. Why am I angry? And then I
Mm-hmm.
understood that I was angry for whatever reasons
Yeah.
in the moment, but it made me step
Mm-hmm.
5, the change in the perspective of I don't have to show my anger when I'm at work. Maybe there is something about me that makes me this angry that I need to explore.
Mm-hmm.
And I did. And I found out that I was unhappy with
Mm-hmm.
my life at the moment. There were more things I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved working in that bookstore.
Mm-hmm.
It was a special place. I learned how to smile there because the same person who gave me the book, she used to say, she's an amazing woman. She was like a mother figure to me. And I mentioned this in my introduction of the podcast episode, but she basically said to greet the clients with a smile because they come in the bookstore, you want to be helpful. The first thing they see is you, smile. And by doing that, gradually,
Yeah.
gradually
Yeah.
then the highlights of the day became a positive one gradually. So that change, that
Oh,
transformation of those 5 steps was incredible. So I am so grateful to you for
this is so
bringing this up.
beautiful.
Thank you. I know, isn't that amazing how it just fits
Yeah.
your example and your explanation so beautifully.
Yeah. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm so grateful to you, Sudeepti. I know it's very hard to hear one another today for some reasons, but it's such a valuable message, very, very helpful. So thank you for being with us today,
Yeah.
Sudeepti.
You're so welcome. And I'm very grateful to you too. You see, I just want to, emphasize um, the main thing here again that um, you know, because we discussed about emotional reflection technique, right? So every feeling, right? It's a message from within. So it's so important to, see them as a guide and not a problem. And it's very important that in our daily lives,
Mm-hmm.
we create that space to really acknowledge these feelings and understand them and explore them deeper, just like you did in your, in your experience. So,
That's
yeah, I just
beautiful.
wanted to, emphasize that point again.
I appreciate that
Yeah,
very much. It is a very good message to take away from today. Don't look at your emotions as problems, but as messages that you
yeah,
need to
yeah,
hear for your own growth and transformation. So, Dipti, where can people find more information about your technique, your
absolutely.
methods, and you? I know
Yeah.
you are on Substack,
So,
right?
yeah, I am. So, for those people who are, interested in really going deeper, um, um, I have a, um, I have a newsletter blog on Substack. It is called I Love and Wonder. I write
Mhm.
about self-transformation, healing, self-love, self-belief, and so much more. And recently, I also wrote an article on viewing emotions differently, how I simplify my emotional experience. So, so if this resonates with anyone, if anyone is interested in it, then they can head on to Substack, iloveandwonder.substack.com, and I would be really happy to connect with them there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And I'm also very grateful to the audience for listening today. It was a very helpful message. I will definitely post your Substack link in the description of our episode. And as always, to all of you who are
Yeah.
listening, don't forget to breathe, smile, and do something to soothe yourself.